feudal system, and one of the groups in the feudal system were knights. So today we're going to talk about the knights. Okay, everyone knows, or I assume we know what a knight is. So we're kind of just going to go through the steps to become a knight and exactly what they did. Okay, so today shouldn't be too long. We'll see. 35 seconds in. All right. So knights at the age of 7 would live at home of a knight or a nobleman and learn how to use weapons, hunt using hawks and falcons. Okay. So there are a couple different times in the school year we've learned about boys going off to train for uh, whether it be Spartan boys at the age of 7 going to train to become warriors, boys in Athens going to school at age 7, boys in Mesopotamia, boys in Egypt going at age 7 to go learn how to be a scribe. Okay, so age 7 is usually the age where you would see these boys kind of leaving home and learning the trade or learning to be a warrior. Okay, at 15 or 16, they became a squire, and this is training as a skilled horseman and assisted his master in battle. So if you look over here, here's a knight. Look at the pointer. Okay, here's a knight who would be going to battle. His squire would come with him. His squire would carry his armor. He would carry the shield, the weapons. He would help the knight on the horse. Because again, it's not really well depicted here, but it's very difficult to get on a horse when you're wearing all of this armor. Okay, and I'll show you more pictures. We can kind of, I mean, if you look here, okay, for example, this would not, you would need help to get on a horse wearing this. That's where the squire came in. Okay, the squire would help with that. They wouldn't really be in the battle necessarily. They'd be in the outskirts of the battle. Okay, and then around 21, they became a knight at a dubbing ceremony, which you can see here. All right, where you kneel before the Lord and receive on the tap of his shoulder using a sword and would be known as sir. Okay, so that's something you guys have probably seen in movies, TV, or whatever it be. All right, so armor started as chainmail, which is here. Okay, chainmail is light. It wasn't as protective as full body armor, but it was easier to wear and maneuver with. But as you see here, they were not well protected by the chainmail compared to wearing a full body armor. Okay, 1400s. This is designed to protect the knight from gunfire. You started to see guns come in, but they were I don't know, they weren't even rifles yet. Gunpowder was created in China in ancient times, and you have these like blunderbuss weapons, gun types that come over into Europe. They're not accurate. They're almost like mini cannons, really. Uh, they're not. I wouldn't say they're a game changer in some ways because again, a gun is more powerful than a sword. But to reload these weapons, it took a lot of time. They weren't accurate. You had to be like right up close to the person you're fighting. At that point, when you're close to them, they can now use a sword or a spear. Okay, so I would say still in the 1400s, guns were not, they were an advantage, but once you shot it, you kind of had to pull out your sword. Okay, and again, this is heavy. Okay, heavy plate mail had to be helped onto horses. That would be usually your squire would help you with that. Iron shoes and metal gloves. Shields became smaller and easier to maneuver. Okay, you can't see here, but this shield goes from above the guy's hip to the ground. Okay, so it's rather large. The shields for him, if I have a picture, would be more like this. Okay, which actually you can see here. Okay, it'd be more like this. Okay, so knights could be identified by a coat of arms, and I actually have a coat of arms project. It's not a project; it's really just for fun that you guys could do. I'm not gonna grade it, but if you guys can do it and take pictures, I'll post it on Instagram or something. Okay. So this was displayed on his shield and his tunic. Tunic's over here, shield here, so you can see the coat of arms. Okay. Also on the coverings of their horses, which again, you can kind of see here. So you can't see his tunic because it's underneath the shield, but it's behind the shield, and you can see the horse. There's drapes on it. Okay. Um, so the speed, skill, and strength of the horse is as important as the knight's own ability. Okay, so you'd want to have a strong horse, both for fighting and also for jousting in different tournaments. Okay, and actually that's what we're going to talk about next. Okay, so again, just a review. At the age of 7, you're sent to learn how to become a knight. From like 15 to 21, you're a squire. Then you become a knight. All right. Again, I'm not talking about all the fighting that knights do, but I think you get the point that knights are the ones who protect the manors, they protect the Lord's land, they protect the king's land. Okay? Knights will be sent to the Holy Land for crusades, and we're going to get to that. Okay? In terms of tournaments, this is jousting. Okay? So tournaments is a social event which would draw many people to watch. You want to compare it to the Colosseum, where you'd have gladiator fighting, similar. Dangerous still, so this is very dangerous, but gladiator fighting was definitely more brutal than tournaments. Would people die in tournaments? Yes. Was that the goal? No. Okay, you would joust. You'd have different type of. This is just a modern depiction of a tournament. You would have sword fighting, but it wasn't necessarily to the death. Okay, you'd have theatrics, feasts, music, and dancing. Okay, so tournaments. When you think of tournament, you think maybe a sports tournament. Yes and no. There is sports because jousting and fighting, but it's more of like a, I don't know, you could say like concert or festival. Festival, use festival. Okay. All right. So you can still, this is Queen Elizabeth knighting someone. When you're knighted now, it's more of a symbolic gesture because you just have the title of Sir. But knights today, so I mean, I'm trying to think of someone else. Michael Caine, the guy who played Alfred in Dark Knight, he's like a Sir Michael Caine. Okay, so he's technically knighted by Queen Elizabeth. I don't know who this is. But he's not a knight. He's not fighting. Okay, so knighthood came to an end when the effectiveness of fighting on horseback gave way to changing military strategies, which is the use of gunpowder. Okay, now again, guns back then, especially early in the Middle Ages, were not effective. When they become more accurate, that's when you see kind of a change from the fighting strategies. Okay, so you have change from like sword fighting to people lining up on a field and shooting at each other, then charging at each other, and then hand to hand combat. Okay, but at that point, kind of charging in on a horse wasn't a good idea because they would just wait and then they would shoot you. Okay, and we're going to see the advancement of kind of military technology, both in this chapter, but then also in just like the next 2 years, learning uh, from when we get to American history, from like the Revolution to the Civil War to World War I to World War II, and the advancement and how it changes the way people fight. Okay, and kind of what I just said. Today continues in Great Britain and to honor individuals for outstanding achievement or exemplary service. Okay, so you could be Sir, who's in our class? I don't know. You could be Sir Mr. Capizoli, but it doesn't mean you're an actual fighting knight. Okay. Tomorrow we're gonna talk about the castles. Okay. So, but today we're gonna keep this under 10 minutes, which I think I did. Okay, and just quick on the knights.